Okay, let's dive right into this. We usually think of data as, well, kind of cold, right? Spreadsheets and charts. But what if it could be something more? What if data could actually tell a story, create a feeling, and become a living, breathing work of art? We're about to look at a project that does exactly that. Seriously, think about it. What pops into your head? For most of us, it's probably some dusty chart from a school project. Functional, maybe, but hardly inspiring. Does it really capture the epic, sprawling story of a family? I don't think so. I mean, look at this. On the left, you've got your standard, kind of boring chart. And on the right, wow, this is from a project called Ancient Lineage. The difference is literally night and day, isn't it? It takes the exact same information and just completely transforms it into something immersive, atmospheric, and just visually stunning. And that's really the core idea here, taking that raw data and turning it into a cinematic journey. The goal isn't just to list a bunch of names and dates, but to create an experience that makes you feel connected to the history it's showing you. So how in the world does it pull this off? Well, it all starts with a philosophy the creator calls a cinematic UI. The whole point isn't just to display information, but to set a mood, tell a story, and draw you in. And here's where the magic really comes in. The entire look and feel can change in an instant, with just one click. No page reloads, no lag, no waiting. It's all handled super elegantly by modern CSS, using something called variables that let the entire design just shift and morph in the blink of an eye. So first up, we've got the magical theme. You've got this awesome, whimsical font, that deep green background, and look at those little glowing embers. It feels like you're digging into a story right out of some epic fantasy novel. Then, one click, and boom, the whole vibe changes. This is dark stone. It's so much more serious, almost monolithic. It feels permanent, like names carved into ancient rock, you know? The strong, bold typography gives it a real sense of weight and importance. Now let's check out the epic theme. This one feels like you're unrolling an ancient scroll or a map. Those warm parchment tones and that really elegant script give it this classic historical feel that's both grand and scholarly. And, okay, for all the fantasy fans out there, you're gonna love this one, Middle-earth. The second you see it, with those rich, earthy colors and that very distinct font, you're immediately transported. It's a perfect example of how a theme can just take you to another world. But here's the thing. This project is way more than just a pretty face. The beauty is not just skin deep. Underneath all that style, there's a seriously smart and responsive engine that actually brings the data to life. Now, this is a really crucial point. This entire beautiful tree, it's all generated from one single simple data file. And why does that matter? It means the information is totally separate from the presentation. You could add 1,000 names to that file and never have to touch a single line of the design code, which makes it incredibly scalable. The layout is also crazy adaptive. So on a big desktop screen like this, you can see how the descendants just spread out horizontally. You get this amazing panoramic view that makes it super easy to trace even really complex family lines and see the whole picture at a glance. But what happens when you look at it on your phone? Well, it completely and seamlessly transforms. The tree actually reorients itself into a vertical timeline. This is so smart. It's not just a shrunken down version, it's a totally different layout specifically designed for that smaller screen, so everything stays clear and easy to use. And, if you're dealing with a huge family tree with hundreds of names, you don't want to be scrolling forever. So there's this really powerful search bar that gives you instant suggestions as you type. You pick a name, and bam, it zips you right to that person and highlights them. It's fast, efficient, and just super user-friendly. Okay, so we've seen what it does, which is awesome. Now, let's pull back the curtain and peek under the hood at how it does it, because honestly, the tech choices here are just as elegant as the design. And this is something the creator is clearly proud of. Its simplicity. This whole thing is built without any of those heavy frameworks like React or Vue. It's just pure, fundamental vanilla JavaScript. This whole no framework approach means the app is incredibly lightweight and super, super fast. So let's just quickly run through the tech stack. The core stuff, just the basics. Solid HTML5 for the structure, modern CSS3 for all the styling, and like we said, all the logic is powered by good old JavaScript. Then, for all the visual flair, it's using CSS keyframes for those cool, subtle animations, Google Fonts for the typography, and CSS filters to create those awesome glow effects. Okay, so how does it draw a tree that could have like infinite branches? It uses this beautiful programming idea called recursion. Think of it like a set of Russian nesting dolls. The code has one simple rule, a function called build branches. It tells the first person, hey, draw your children. And then it tells each of those children, okay, now you use the exact same instructions to draw your children, and on and on and on it goes. It's a simple, repeating rule that can build something incredibly complex. And here's one last really clever trick. You see all those lines connecting everyone? Those are not images. They are drawn dynamically using pure CSS. And this is just brilliant because it means they automatically resize and reposition themselves no matter the layout, the screen size, or the theme you've picked. It's just super efficient and clean. So, when you put all of that together, this project really stops being just a simple tool. It becomes something more. It's just a fantastic example of what the art of data visualization can truly be. So let's just recap the big takeaways, right? It's framework free, so you get amazing performance. The artistry is all driven by clever CSS. The data is rendered dynamically, so it's super scalable. The whole thing is fully responsive, and it all adds up to a truly immersive user experience. And that leaves us with one final and I think really important question. This project took a simple family tree and turned it into an experience. So, what other data in our own lives deserves this kind of treatment? Think about it. Project timelines, organizational charts, even historical events. What other stories are just sitting there in our data, waiting to be told this beautifully?